Alright, let's go ahead and do some shopping. You make your way to the market district of Lud. Hopefully this isn't just all of the same options. Let's see, we have to buy a horse first, right? Ben! A familiar voice calls. You turn and see Gino, your teacher. You aren't surprised to find him among the horses. Here to buy a horse? Gino asks. Let me help you out. I can get you a good deal. You look over the horses that Gino has to offer. Purchase an old swayback horse. Purchase a farmer's thing. Young timid riding horse. Or a healthy riding horse. 250 gold? Where do they expect me to have that? How much gold do I have? 150 now. Damn, seriously? Where the heck? I would have had to get the bonus from the other thing and maybe, like, checked out that pit and found something. I don't even know. Let's go to the other horse traders and see what they have. A fully trained war horse for 500. That would suck. Alright, yeah, sure. We'll purchase young. Continue calling it Lucky. Yeah, sure. Horse's name is Lucky. Is that in my thing now? Your mount. A young, timid riding horse named Lucky. Cool. Maybe I can buy a war horse later. Alright. Do we have any equipment that we can buy? Loot, lantern, hammer and spikes. Whoops! Shit! I didn't mean to do that. I meant to just leave. Well, fuck it. Now I have a loot. I don't know what the hell I'm gonna do with a fucking loot, but sure, we're done shopping, I guess. You conclude your shopping and leave the market district. It's a beautiful and sunny day as you wait patiently outside of the inn for others to arrive. Theo is the first to appear from the direction of the stable yard. His messy black hair hangs over his forehead in sweaty clumps. He is riding a big dark horse filled with filled saddlebags. Lucky, your horse, nickers softly as they approach. Petra and Jess arrive at the same time, each of them on a horse of their own. They are already arguing, but catching only the tail end of the conversation, you aren't sure what it's about. The freckles on Petra's face soften her stern demeanor as she turns away from Jess to greet you and Theo. Good, we're all here, Theo says as he puts his heels into the sides of the large black horse he's riding. The big horse responds immediately, leading your party out of Lud. Theo seems like a mountain Theo seems like a mountain in a saddle, with his enormous warhammer hanging from his belt, as his muscles ripple and flex. Jess seems so small in comparison. Her slender body rests lightly on her horse. She looks up through her shiny black hair, which frames her pale face. Next to the soul burner is Petra. You can tell she has been trained to ride horse properly. She was always a good rider, but now she trots with military bearing. The days go by, ... The troll had likely been carrying the box for many years, so you and your group don't push your mounts very hard. Each night, after the tents have been set up for firewood, and firewood has been gathered, you find yourself with a few spare hours before it's time for bed. Spend your evenings talking about religion with Petra, riding with Petra, learning about how just magics work. Spend your evening working with Theo. Spend your evening sneaking into your companions' tents and stealing from them. They really want me to steal from other people. Yeah, we can talk religion with Petra. You enjoy your many religious conversations around the campfire before going to bed each night. Petra is a wealth of information about the gods and their activities. Religion plus 10, Petra relationship plus 5. Yeah. Chat with Petra during the trip, chat with Theo during the trip, chat with Jess during the trip. Sure, we can chat with Jess a little bit. I mean, it doesn't hurt to gain the arcane knowledge. The soul burner seems very stern and cold. Her pale skin stands out in stark contrast to her jet black hair. Although she wears a dark robe, you can see that she has a firm, athletic body underneath it. The remaining plans of the Adan Duchy plains, damn it. The remaining plains of the Adan Duchy stretch, god damn it. I need coffee. Badly. Stretch around you as you leave Lud behind. Ask, what's it like being a soul burner? Stop talking to Jess. Alright, we're gonna... What's it like being annoying? Jess counters as she leads her horse away from you. Yeah, well, fuck you too. Chat with Petra during the trip? Yeah, sure. We're gonna chat with Petra during the trip then. Petra has become very serious compared to how you knew her as a child. The religious order that she joined is known to be very strong, very strict, and very militant. Her bright green eyes have a piercing intensity to them that is somewhat unnerving. She has become very strong and muscular. likely from the thick plate mail that she wears all the time now. All traces of the plains are gone as you enter the lush forests of the Udo Duchy. Ask, will you help me fight back against Zuzak and his men? Ask what happened to your parents. Ask, why do you hate Jess so much? Well, ask what happened to her parents. It was terrible, Ben, Petra says. They survived the poisoning that killed most of the other nobles, but that was almost worse. Lords Bendar and Edan were bad enough. They were named dukes along with Lord Udo and Duchess Selina, but it was Udo who took over my parents' estates. They had just bowed down to the new duke. Everything would have been okay, but they couldn't, Ben. They just couldn't. They tried to get their lands back. I was just a kid, but even then I knew what they were doing was wrong. Petra relationship +3. Will you help me find what they do that was so wrong? Petra looks down at a holy symbol laying on her chest. They tried to get help from a very evil man. They knew he was a monster, but they hoped that the good they could do as nobles would outweigh the evils of dealing with such a being. They were wrong. I don't want to talk about it anymore. Petra relationship +3. Ask why she hates Jess so much. She's a soul burner, Petra says. The gods gave us our immortal souls as a gift, yet she chooses to squander it away piece by piece. They're as bad as demon summoners. Alright, yeah, we'll say I agree. Petra smiles at you. The freckles on her... I don't know why I'm trying to say that with her wispish talking. Or what was it, wispishly that I couldn't say? Petra smiles at you, the freckles on her nose showing faintly from the light on the campfire. I'm glad that your moral's in the right place, she says. Petra relationship +5. Can we bone now? I'm joking. 82. Ask, will you help me fight back against Zuzak and his men? Stop talking. Yeah, I mean, actually, if she's from a divine order, I'd have to ask this, right? I mean, obviously she wouldn't have a problem killing demons, but the people summoning them, even though they're doing something evil, she still might consider it evil to kill them, so I'll ask her that. Do you even have to ask? Petra asks. Of course I will. Why don't you use the demon stones you took from Zuzak to get an audience with the consortium? They were owned by Zuzak. They'll be registered in his name, you explain. I need something that's never been owned by a consortium member before. If I have something they've never seen before, they'll let me into the stronghold. What then? Petra asks. I'll find a way to kill Zuzak. I'll search for clues as to why he murdered my parents. I'll learn what's so important about the demon stone that doesn't work. I'll find proof of his crime and bring him to justice. Boom. Will you eventually tell Theo and Jess who you really are? It's safer they don't know. I don't trust them yet. It's none of their business. It's probably safer they don't know. Stop talking to Petra. I don't have an option of not doing anything else? Alright, fine. I'll fucking stop talking to Petra then. Yeah, we'll chat with Theo if there's an option. Theo takes the role of leader very seriously. He tells the group when to stop for the night and when to get moving in the morning. His large form also provides an excellent deterrent to any speculating bandits who might be watching. The thick forests of Udo Duchy surround you. You are getting very close to the Somrath stronghold. Remark in a friendly way, the flat plains around Lud must have seemed very different from the mountains you grew up in. Alright, yeah, sure. You got that right, he says in a deep rumbling voice. I missed the Norgan. Will you return someday? Just a bunch of smelly mountain women up there anyway. Well, fuck that. Ask if I return someday. I can't, he says. It was my fault, but the clan chief will never forgive me for the death of his daughter. What happened? You asked. I don't want to talk about it, Theo says, leading his horse away from you and ending the conversation. Alright, cool. We'll stop talking to them and continue traveling. The days are filled with travel as you and your party follow the map inscribed by the inside of the Somric box. You estimate that you are only a few days from Elmvale, but you have never been where the map is telling you to go. It leads you off the safety of the well-traveled roads and into the untamed wilderness. After a few days of traveling through difficult terrain, you know that you are far from civilized lands. What did you cast? Petra shouts suddenly. You had a blood wasp on you, Jess replies calmly. Oh, sorry. You had a blood wasp on you, Jess replies calmly. You are all walking through the dense undergrowth, leading your mounts on foot. Petra is no longer even holding the reins to her mount as she stands face to face. I don't know why my eyes are not working for some reason. As she stands face to face with the soul burner, her hand resting on the handle of her morning star. Liar! Petra shouts, her face a bright red. The witch hexed me! No, I did not, Jess says in a cold and arrogant voice as Theo stands by watching the display. I saw a blood wasp land on your back of your neck. I destroyed it before it could sting you. Say, easy Petra, blood wasp stings can be deadly. You should thank Jess. Say, keep your evil magic to yourself. If you're going to cast, you need to ask and warn us before you do. Lie. Oh no, Petra, you've grown an enormous wart on your nose. Why the fuck would I say that? Oh, jokingly, okay. Say, I still haven't seen you do any magic. Can you blow up a bug or something? Did she blow up a bug? I'm not going to tell her she should thank her because I didn't see the bug, so I have no proof. Petra takes her hand away from the Morning Star and falls back, allowing... Why the fuck did I get... Okay, whatever. Sure, lost relationship with both of them. Fuck off. Petra takes her hands away from the Morning Star and falls back, allowing Jess to lead the group. No, Jess says coldly. Every expenditure of my magic shortens my lifespan. I should have let that fool cleric get stung. The horses have a difficult time going through the thick foliage, but you can tell from the map that you're getting very close to your destination. There is some controversy as to what a particular symbol means on the map. Theo thinks it indicates a good camping location, just outside the former Somrath stronghold. Jess thinks it might mean a marsh of some kind. The meaning becomes instantly clear when your foot sticks into the ground. You look around, the forest seems to rise slowly into the air. No, it's not the trees that are lifting, you are sinking. You feel the cold suction of mud sticking to your legs as you descend deeper into the quicksand. Lucky cries out, and his eyes widen in fright as his front legs stick into the ground. Are you fucking kidding me? I better not lose Lucky. You hold tightly to the reins as the horse backs out of the danger, pulling you free with sticky popping sound. Okay, cool. Lucky has saved your life. You and companions go around the danger, approaching the Somrath camp with a different angle. Needed 40 geography or 45 perception. What is my perception at anyway? Where's perception? Oh, it's here. 30. But I got geography. Right? Wait. 33 or 30. So I don't have either of them, right? Needed 40 geography or 45 perception. Okay. I mean, we got out without any problem, but I mean... What? There was nothing lost, right? Just the angle of approach or something? A few hours later, you arrive at the destination marked on the map described with the Somrath welcome box. You leave Lucky your horse a safe distance away from what you found. The animals gather together to eat the dark green grass growing in the underbrush as you and your companions walk forward on foot. You see the consortium camp before you see the entrance to the Somra stronghold itself. There are 6 guards sitting around a campfire with a tent nearby, black rune bags on each of their hips. They are eating a meal and talking quietly to each other. Behind them, you can see the nearly white stone of a large circular closed door, the entrance to the stronghold. Even from your hiding place, you spy a small hole where your stone key would fit. Next to the door, there is a roughly hewn tunnel being dug. You can see pickaxes and shovels, as well as the piles of rock and stone nearby. Listen to consortium mages, charge forward, conjure noxious cloud to fill the enemy camp, attempt to open the door of Somrath stronghold and flee inside, draw your bow and attack from a distance, wait for nightfall. Let's listen to the consortium mages. And oregano, one of them is saying. It's worth it, another agrees from across the fire. Easy to carry and really makes a difference. They're all eating from wooden bowls and discussing the spices they like to take with them when traveling. The more you listen, the more you realize they are just normal people doing a job. Their conversation moves into the food, their family, their friends, and other mundane things. They never seem to get around to talking about what they are doing there, although it seems obvious to you. They are attempting to tunnel into Somra stronghold since they don't have a key. They might have been there for a month already, and they will likely be there for many more months before they are successful. So they're consortium people. They are people of arcane knowledge. They choose to summon demons, and in their minds that's an okay sort of thing. I mean, it's not necessarily blatant that they are directly evil and that they're like part of the plot to have demons take over. They might think that it's just an okay way of getting labor done. I mean, like, if they summon the demon and make the demon do the work for them, and then, I mean, hard to tell. Would they be I don't know if I want to talk to them, because talking to them might not... I mean, how charming am I? I've got charm 29. We can probably increase it if we talk to them. Otherwise, waiting for nightfall would be the best if we wanted to kill them. But I mean... Fuck it, let's go and talk to them. I think, right? I mean, they're just normal guys. If anything, I could be like, oh, hey, who the fuck are you guys? Act dumb, maybe? No? What actually... Obviously, our best thing to do would be to conjure a cloud to murder them. Noxious cloud. Well, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to kill them. We might be able to clear them out of the camp and then just get inside without needing to kill them. Right? Shit. Do we want to... What do we want to do? Crap, wait, what's my archery at? It's only at 28. Gross. Let's go talk to him. You step forward so that the guards can see you. They immediately become wary of your presence. Bluff, greetings, we're here to relieve you. Threaten, charm, may we share your campfire? Let's ask, can we share a camp? No, I don't think so. The guards very suspicious you approach. Need 30 charm. What the fuck do I have then? Rage. Fuck. I needed 30 charm and I have 29. What the hell? This is bullshit. Attack the guards, back away with a smile, and return to watching them. Yeah, we'll go ahead and watch as you leave. A few minutes later, you return to the edge of the... Okay, they weren't nice enough to do that thing. Let's wait for nightfall. Fuck them. You and your companions lead your mounts away from the camp. Once you feel that you've gotten far enough away, you set up a small camp of your own. No fire. Keep your voice low, wanting to alert the consortium guards to your presence. A few hours pass. You wait for the sun to go down and some of the night to pass. I'm going to go alone. Be careful and call to us if you run into trouble, Theo says. You walk silently back the way you came. The camp is quiet, and you see that the campfire has dwindled down to ashes. A single large tent set up next to the barely begun tunnel. Even from the edge of the camp, you can hear snoring coming from within. A dry twig snaps loudly under your foot. Whatever the fuck. Intruder is a tiny voice from nearby. Fuck you! Seriously, I needed 30 stealth to be able to fucking see. Literally need, like, any of the skill checks in this. They have to be, like, the major thing that you use. Fuck. Next time I'm just gonna hit them all with a poison cloud and watch them gag to death on their own fucking breath. You look down and see a small white man-shaped figure standing nearby. The creature is perhaps only a foot tall. Oh, it's a little summon thing. Considering that they are consortium mages, you suspect that it's a demon of some sort. Yeah, that's a D&D sort of thing. You can get them to do stuff like that. The tent opens and 6 guards pour into the night. Some of them are scrambling for their black rune bags, and others are drawing swords. The small stone demon steps to the back of the group and smiles briefly before popping out of existence. You aren't alone for long as Theo's voice roars loudly from behind you and he rushes out from the foliage. Petra is there too, drawing her shiny morning star from her belt loop. Jess has also arrived, but seems to have frozen in place. She isn't saying any magic words, but judging from the sweat running down her face and the look of concentration in her eyes, you guess that she's working her magic. Attack the closest guards with your hands. Attempt to blast the guards with a fireball. Draw your bow and arrow. Attempt to open the door. Fuck it, we're gonna blast them with the goddamn fireball. The magic spills from your lips as you weave intricate symbols with your hands. Small orange sparks gather and swirl between your palms. As the magic builds, the sparks form into an intense hot ball in your hand. You pull it back above your shoulder and then throw it. Explodes in the camp, throwing the guards in all directions. 2 of them clearly do not get back onto their feet. Their corpse is still on fire. Fuck you! Theo tries to smash one of the mages with a large hammer, but the guard dodges the near-fatal blow. Suddenly, Jess screams loudly. A twin pair of bright white beams streak from her eyes and connect directly with the eyes of one of the guards. The guard begins to scream immediately as a look of terror washes over her face. She drops to the ground, black hole still pouring smoke where her pupils used to be. The white beam vanishes. Jess hangs her head in exhaustion. The remaining guards gather together. So that's 3 dead. One's engaging with Theo, and then there's 2 more, right? You watch as one of them draws a bright demon stone from his pouch, while the other keep you and your companions back with their swords. Flames and fire dance as red-skinned 5-foot demons as a red-skinned 5-foot demon appears from the air. You hear the summoner speak something, but you can't catch the words over the din of the battle. The creature has flame rippling across its skin, and each footfall leaves behind a black ash footprint. It reaches a long clawed hand into the air, and a large gout of flame blasts towards you and Jess. Step behind Jess, step in front of Jess, duck the fire, step in front of Jess. The fire blasts you, burning your clothing and skin. You feel painful blisters across your cheeks and are unable to breathe as the fire pulls the oxygen away from your lips. Blackness slowly closes in from every direction as you fall unconscious. Oh, that's fucking great. Just relationship plus 15, though. You wake with a gasp, a bright holy light floods your vision. Your body feels alive as it never had before. Oh, sweet, she healed me. Petra. You can hear Petra's voice as she prays to her deity for help. Slowly, the blessed feeling leaves you, and you're able to stand up. Your neo-fatal wounds look like they're weeks old, and even though only 5 minutes have passed. A soft light shines upon you from above, but it isn't firelight or sunlight. Small spherical crystals have been placed along the walls on either side of the hall that you find yourself in. It doesn't take long to realize that you're in the Samra stronghold. We lost them, Theo says breathlessly from beside while holding your side. His side, okay. I used the key and opened the door. Then I picked you up and ran in here. I don't know how long we've been running with them following, but I think we've lost them. You glance over at Jess, but the soul burner looks away. You can tell that your sacrifice deeply affected her. She looks as exhausted as Theo, likely from using her magic. You see that Theo is holding a blood-soaked bandage at his side and limping slightly from the pain. It looks like the fighter also received a near-fatal wound from the fight. You hope that Lucky and the other mounts will be safe outside as you walk down the hall. The white stone walls are smooth, and the corners are masterfully cut. You've never seen such skill with stonework. You walk through bedrooms, lavatories, kitchens, and lounge areas. You see plates, blankets, chairs, hairbrushes, and all manner of items. Hours pass as you stroll through the ancient stronghold. The one thing that is noticeably absent is corpses. Why did the Somrath leave their home? Why didn't they take anything with them? It is a mystery for the ages. Well, what do we take? Theo says gruffly as you walk. It's a good question. Mundane items might be sold for gold, but it would be a long and exhausting affair. Also, such regular items would never get the attention of the consortium or grant you an audience with Alexander Zuzak himself. Before you are able to say anything, the answer presents itself. What's that down there? Petra asks. At the end of the indicated hall, you see a cavernous, high-ceilinged chamber. The concentration of multicolored lights reminds you of the time you saw Zuzak opening his room bag. The four of you walk towards it. You were surprised to find an enormous 20-foot statue in the center of the room. The bright lights come from a single demon stone embedded in the dais on which the statue stands. Oh, okay, so it's the base. The rainbow of light from the stone is bright enough to illuminate the entire chamber. Try to pry the stone loose. Explain to the others what the statue means. Examine the stone. Let's explain it to them. The man is clearly Somrath. You can tell by the clothing, you say as you examine the statue. See the medallion on his neck? That means he was the leader, probably the ruler of the stronghold. That would have made him a very powerful mage as well. The Somrath put a lot of emphasis on scholarly and magical ability. Jess snorts at the comment, her dislike of wizards showing clearly. See the way his hand is extended? You continue ignoring the soul burner. It looks welcoming, like he's leading people to him. Arcana +3. Try to pry the stone, examine the stone. Let's examine the stone. I'm not going to try to fucking pry it. Tybor. Okay, so we're going to become friends with a demon called Tybor? I guess we have to try to pry it. Real quick, what is my willpower? It's at fucking 20. I'm guessing that willpower would increase if I actually used the demon stones? Maybe? Also, Demon Stone, I could go for some of that right now. That was a kind of a fun game. Theo nods approvingly. This is exactly the type of thing that would give you the audience with Zuzak that you desire. Jess looks at the stone and then looks away, almost seeming bored. Filthy magic, Petra says. But yes, it will fetch a large price. If I use the coin for good, will it wash away the sins accrued from loosing it upon the world? I guess that I'll have to wrestle with that moral dilemma, because yes, I think we should take it. What do we have here? A gurgling voice says from above. Maybe it's the dude. You look up to see a terrifying sight. The entire roof of the cavern appears to be covered in a massive, oozing blob. Tentacles covered with eyes dangle down all over the place. A single large fang-filled mouth speaks from the center of the disgusting thing. 5,000 years will give you such a crick in the neck, it says. At first I hated the idea of killing someone to protect them from that stone, but 5,000 years can change anyone's mind. The blob creature is firmly clinging to the roof, but its tentacles are everywhere, including within the stone itself. It begins to pull the ceiling of the entire stronghold down upon you, while also reaching to grab you and your companions. Continue to try to fucking abandon the stone, damn. An enormous chunk of stone, the size of a wagon, crashes to the ground nearby. It's blocked, Petra says, indicating the way you had come. Sure enough, tentacles hang across the exit, twitching with menace. There had been many entrances into the statue-filled cavern when you had arrived, but between the tentacles and the rubble from the quickly collapsing ceiling, nearly all of them are now inaccessible. No words need to be said as the four of you run down a hallway out of the chamber. The small antechamber at the end of the hall has a circular door, similar to the one that you used to enter the stronghold. It stands to reason such a feature may indicate an exterior door. It even has the look of an entrance room, filled with shelves, tables, vases, plates, and other decorations. Jess calmly places her hands on the door, looking for some way to open it. You don't see what she touches, but the door immediately hums as it opens, allowing fresh air into the small room. You see leaves and vines covering the opening, but Jess easily pushes them aside to give you a clear exit out of the stronghold. The night sky is still filled with stars, but the faint light of dawn can be seen between the treetops. "I'm not leaving empty-handed," Theo says as he starts filling his hands and pockets with decorative vases, urns, and knickknacks from the antechamber. Meanwhile, the entire room shakes. You know that within seconds the stronghold will be no more, and anyone still in the room will be crushed under the debris. Help Theo ransack the antechamber for treasure, leave the stronghold. Fuck it, we'll help him. Even injured, Theo has filled his pockets and has an armload of plates and vases. Large stones from the ceilings continue to fall around you as you look around for things to take. You fill your arms with plates and vases. At the last moment, you see a clear, square-cut gem, which you take as well, before rushing out the door with Theo right behind you. You burst through the leaves and vines into the safety of the forest, your arms filled with valuable objects. You feel a shove from behind as the remaining consortium guards push their way out of the stronghold. The sound of crashing rock reverberates through the forest, and rocks and dust burst from the exit. The guards draw their swords and reach for their rune bags. Cast a spell to push them into the stronghold. Defend yourself with your bow, defend yourself with a dagger, defend yourself with your fists. Let your companions deal with the enemies. Fuck them, push them into the stronghold, goddammit. You drop the treasure to the ground and begin casting, causing a large blue barrier to appear behind the guards. It slides inexorably forward, pushing the guards towards the circular door you just came out of. Several of the falling rocks from the ceiling batter about them, crashing one of them before the spell releases its hold, allowing the others to break free. The remaining two guards look at each other and then back away, with the noisily self-destructing stronghold giving ominous background noises to the fight. Their courage finally leaves them. Theo uses the momentary distraction to step forward and strike one of them with an enormous downward blow from his hammer. The other gets away into the forest, never to be seen again. With the last of the guards killed and the final rumblings of the destroyed stronghold beginning to subside, everyone felt the tension lift. Take a sword, look in a rune bag, find the mounts, and leave the stronghold. Let's look in a rune bag. The moment you open the rune bag, the contents flare with light. The demon stones within instantly lose their writing and make them impossible to read. That's bullshit. So even if the owner is killed, you can't take them? Not even if they die from, natural means? It's stupid. Alright, take a sword. You take one of the dead guard's swords for your own, gain a sword, and find the mounts and leave the stronghold. Alright. You walk through the forest and eventually find the entrance you used to get into the stronghold. It's now filled with rubble and debris as well. The stronghold is completely destroyed. You return to where Lucky and the other mounts were left. Theo happily packs his saddlebags with his treasure from the antechamber. He smiles over at you as you do the same. You see a small glowing stone among the tiny carved animals Theo pulls from his pockets. It isn't a demon stone from the statue, but a different one. It looks well used and it doesn't shine brightly, but at least it's an unregistered stone. You realize that your plan isn't over after all. With it, you will be able to gain entrance to the consortium compound and confront the man who murdered your parents. Elmvale is only a few days from here, Theo says in an exhausted voice. Let's get a room and divvy up the treasure. I'm from Elmvale, you say. I know a place we can stay for free. The trip back to the town the trip back to the town you grew up in, is uneventful, except for the newly falling snow that marks the beginning of winter. Everyone is curious as to the value of the treasure found in the stronghold. As you ride, you come to a decision. You will need allies if you are going to confront Zuzak and regain your throne. It is just past sundown when you finally arrive. This works in your favor, since it allows you to go straight to the back door of the tavern without being seen by anyone. Regained full health. Cool. The Full Cup Inn is busy. Petra smiles at the sight. She is probably amazed to see where the heir to the throne of Daria had grown up. Daria. It doesn't fucking matter. It's the same place. You knock on the door anxiously. Your luck is with you, as Amos himself answers. Say, "It's so good to see you again. We need a place to stay." Demand, "Let us in." Say, "We need a place to stay the night. We can pay. Need 5 gold. I don't fucking have 5 gold because I accidentally bought a loot. Okay. We need a place to stay. Come in, Amos says. Amos opens the door and quickly leads everyone upstairs before anyone sees them. He leaves for a moment to tell his staff that he is retired for the evening and then returns with some food and drink which he sets out on a small table in the room. He studies Theo and his eyes go wide when he sees Jess, somehow knowing what she is. When Amos sees Petra, his eyes grow wider yet, as he recognizes her from the castle many years before. You take a deep breath before continuing. My name is Prince Ben. I am the rightful heir to the throne of Daria, you confess to Theo and Jess. This is Amos, my guardian. You continue to explain what happened on the night your parents were murdered and how Amos rescued you from the castle. Theo's mouth hangs open. His mouth hangs open. He's got a pet mouse. In amazement as Jess listens silently. I need the demon stone we found. I plan to use it to get an audience with Alexander Zuzak, the man who killed my parents and broke up my kingdom. It's true, Petra asserts. He is the lost prince. I grew up in the castle with him. The conversation over the next couple hours is intense, as Theo asks many questions. Jess doesn't say a word, but you can tell that your statement has rattled the soul burner all the same. Amos seems surprised that you have revealed your true identity, but you can tell that he likes your plan of using the demon stone to get close to Zuzak. Say, so that's why I need the demon stone. Say, so the demon stone is mine. Well, fine. So the demon stone is mine. I'm the king of this kingdom. I'm the rightful heir. Get me my throne. I want my crown. Right. Well, Your Highness, Theo says, I led the expedition, so I should get first pick. But yes, you can have the stone. It comes out as your share, though. Theo reaches into his pocket and takes out the demon stone. He turns it over in his hands a few times before handing it over. Gained an unknown demon stone. I can't read it? What the fuck? No titles, Amos says at the words Highness. As it is, two people now know. Too many people now know. Ugh. This is me. Amos, we need them. There's no way I can reach Zuzak by myself. And if they're coming, they need to know who I am. This is it. This is the opportunity we've been waiting for. I pause. Will you all come with me? Petra agrees to come almost right away. Theo isn't too far behind, whether for gold or fame or loyalty. It is difficult to tell. Surprisingly, Jess nods in agreement as well. Very well, Amos says. The 5 of us will go. We'll need provisions and a guide. Vernex is a long ways away, and the mountain passes have already filled with the snow for the winter. We won't be able to leave until early spring either way. Good, Theo says. That will give me time to sell the rest of the treasure we found. I guess we'll be staying here in Elmvale for the winter. Wonderful, Jess says dryly, speaking for the first time. Amos gives the group their own room at the inn. You return to your old room, eager to sleep in a real bed again. Go to your room alone. Oh, would I have had an option to go to my room with somebody else? Maybe Amos? Okay, so Petra is up to 77. Amos was at 76, which means that Petra and Carla are both like right at the same. Go to my room alone. The next day, when you come out of your room, you're surprised to see Carla sitting at the table with Amos. Oh, cool. Carla jumps to her feet and rushes to you with arms outstretched. She hugs you warmly and then steps away. It's good to see you again, she says with a friendly smile. I've told Carla who you are, Amos says. She will be our 6th. Nobody knows the forest between Udo and Bandar better. Even after the mountain passes have cleared in the spring, we'll need a guide to find them. Shy, Timid Carla seems out of place among the adventurers, although you know that her skill with the bow will make her an excellent part of the team. Theo noisily slurps eggs from his plate as Jess sits quietly, waiting to hear what Amos has to say. Petra also eats breakfast, but with much better manners than the large fighter. Say Carla is a good choice and will make the trip much easier. Say, Amos, you had no right divulging my secret without my permission. Say, I'm glad she knows, but I would have liked to have had the chance to tell her myself. I mean, Amos might not like that, so we'll say, yep, she's good. Yep, Amos relationship, Carla relationship. So then it probably would have been like Carla relationship down, Amos relationship down, or just Amos relationship down. I'm glad that you agree, Amos says before turning to Carla. You should have a few weeks to get ready. Make sure you get yourself a good horse. It's a little strange to be home again. The other villagers take your return well, happy to see a local boy becoming a success within the Adventurers Guild. Oh boy, some of them are probably fucking pissed that, well, I mean, obviously, I didn't kill them, but the way that it's written, my choices ended up getting them killed. Of course, my character didn't have any choice to not get them killed, but, like, if I had, like, specific skills more built up, then they wouldn't have died. The guild is told that the sheep arrived safely and that your first job is a success. In addition, Theo files the paperwork to show that the salvage mission is also a success. The details of where the party had gone and where they had found weren't recorded. Oh, and what they had found weren't recorded. As the days pass, Theo looks into selling the treasure from the Somrath stronghold. Since you aren't a full partner, there is nothing for you to say as Theo takes the square-cut gem for his pick. At least it's something coming out of his share, leaving more gold for the rest of you. Your share of the proceeds comes to 370 gold. Cool. I thought my demon stone was the cut, but sure. Or I suppose it comes as part of my cut, but yeah. Everyone rests, sells equipment and buys provision for the trip. Elm Vale has a blacksmith, a general store owned by Carla's parents, a temple, and a few specialty shops. Visit the stores. What do we have for equipment? Lantern, hammer, and spikes. I mean, I can probably cast something to get some more. Not sure what hammer and spikes would help with. Probably barricading something. Buy from the Thieves Guild. What do they have? Thieves' Harness for climbing. A lockpick set. I mean, I have large agility and Thieves' Harness for climbing. I mean, that's like wearing it, so I don't have to like fuck with the rope the entire time. That could come in real handy later. And it's expensive as fuck. Let's go ahead and get it. Thieves' Harness includes a series of ropes, straps, and hooks to allow a person to climb up vertical walls, keeping their hands free. So I can blast fireballs while descending. I can just be like, alright, I'm going to rappel down now. One over here, one over here. Yeah. Alright, we're going to go back. We don't need a lockpick set. Actually, yeah, fuck it, we'll buy a lockpick set, just in case. Visit the stables. Young Timid Riding Horse. Consider selling Lucky Young Timid Riding Horse. So I'm guessing that would just give me some of the money back, right? And then if I go to Gino and Lud, I would actually get better. But he doesn't have trained riding horses, though. Go back. Visit the stables, visit the temple. Buy a holy symbol. Buy a flask of holy water. You know what? It can't hurt to wear a holy symbol. Alright. Follow a good deity. Yeah, sure, we'll follow a good deity. Oh, cool, we can actually... Alright, well, I suppose if they've got, like, legit deities that actually do shit, because, I mean, she healed me, the temple can be a good thing for this. Alright. The embodiment of all that is good in the world, light, compassion, healing, justice, truth, kindness. The list could go on for hours. In addition to these things, your deity encourages truth, honor, and charity to those less fortunate. So I'm guessing I can increase my religion, right? Yeah, I can increase my religion and my arcana and nature. I don't really care much for geography and history, but I mean, if religion is going to help me keep people alive, we're going to want to go that route. And then that's not part of my abilities, and it's not related to my skills either. So if I have, like, good healing, religious magic sort of stuff, and then, it's based more off of faith than knowledge, but magic is based off of knowledge. So if I'm, like, magic-y and then healing at the same time, that could be a good combination. In addition, the list could go on for hours. In addition to these things, your deity encourages truth, honor, and charity in those less fortunate. Yep. You follow a different god. You follow a different goddess. Okay, so you can name them whatever you want. We're going to follow Oriel. The holy symbol dedicated to Oriel represents her divine will. You hang the holy symbol around your neck, allowing it to fall down your tunic and lay against your chest. You have 205 gold. Buy a whole flask of holy water. Donate gold to the needy. We can donate some gold. Why not? Let's go ahead and donate 30 gold. Got +3 good for that. Alright, we're going to go back. So what is my... I'm 70 good. Owned. Alright, are we done? I mean, hell, I could probably pray to the goddess to have my thing pop up. Hammer and spikes. I don't know. It might be good to just have all of the things anyway, and then like maybe screw it. We're just gonna be done. You aren't hiding, so your companions spend a lot of time sitting in the common room of the Full Cup Inn. Days turn into weeks, which turn into months, as everyone waits for the mountain passes to clear. The idea of finally confronting Alexander Zuzak for what he had done to your life was a constant thought in your mind. You do many things during your time in Elmvale. I talk to my companions, I get a job or a hobby, I visit Sunna, another traveler who is staying at the Full Cup Inn, visit Joel the peddler, or leave Elmvale for Vernex. Let's talk to my companions. Might as well speak to everybody, I mean, honestly. Who do we want to get out of the way first? We're going to talk to everybody if we can. So let's talk to Petra. Petra waits to hear what you want to talk about. How are you holding up? What did your parents do that was so evil? Let's train together. How are you holding up? Fine, thank you, Petra says. This is a beautiful village. Although the circumstances around your childhood are tragic, Elmvale must be a nice place for a child to grow up. We'll ask her about that. Hopefully she doesn't get pissed off. You have to understand the time's been, Petra says. They thought you were dead alongside your parents. To make matters even worse, all of our parents' enemies had assumed leadership of the newly formed duchies. My parents had nobody to turn to, and they felt completely helpless. It was about 2 years after you left, Petra says quietly. There was a man. He lived in the wilds. It was said that he could do things for people, for a price. He's Rumpelstiltskin. They spoke to him, and sure enough, he was able to help. They regained one of their leased houses, and were starting to gain some influence with the other nobles again. But it wasn't natural. People just agreed with them without argument. And as time went on, my parents found themselves unable to go out during the day. The man was a vampire. Ask her, a vampire? Oh yes, such a vile creature of the night truly do exist, says Petra, but he was elegant and influential from his dark arts. My parents knew it was wrong. They sent me away before they began to deal with him in earnest. My last letter from them said that they were going to return to the gods and look upon the light. They destroyed themselves rather than get what they wanted, at the cost of their souls. That really sucks. I will find this vile creature and I will end it, Petra says with vigor. Say, and I will be at your side. Say, sounds like a fairy tale. Fuck it, we're going to be at her side. Thank you, Ben, Petra says with a fierce look in her eyes. You are a true friend. We can say, let's train together. We can stop talking to Petra. Yeah, we can train together. Yes, we should train. What do you wish to do? Let's study scripture. Let's go riding. Nothing. Wait, is riding one of the things? You know what? Let's study some scripture. The words of the gods will aid us in our strife, Petra says happily. Religion +10 and Petra relationship +5. You do many things during your time in Elmvale. You study scripture with Petra in the mornings. We're going to... Wait, what's our relationship with her now? 93, cool. Let's talk to our companions more. I kind of want Jess to be on my side more. Jess waits to hear what you want to talk about. Say, I'm sorry we got off to a poor start, you and I. Sure. I'm used to it, Jess says. Soul burners are never trusted, despite the fact that I was born to this life. People are afraid of what I can do. People hate what they fear. I've gotten used to it. Ask her if she grew up in a town like this. Similar in appearance, but much different in attitude. They know what I am, yet they do not ask me to leave. I suppose that is mostly due to your presence. Ask her to train together. Perhaps we can help each other, she says cautiously. What do you want to do? Let's talk about magic, study history, show me how to strengthen my will. Yeah, we can have her strengthen my will. This is Jess. It's true that it takes an iron will to soul burn, but would you want to learn that? Jess says. Demon summoning, is it? Or something else? Very well, I shall show you some exercises that can help. Willpower +5 and Jess relationship +5. You study scripture with Petra and meditate with Jess in the afternoons. I'm guessing that's going to like fill up like mornings, afternoons. I've probably only got one slot left. Let's go ahead and talk to... What's our relationship with everybody? Theo's low. Jess is low, but I'm increasing it. Fuck it. Let's talk to Theo. Theo waits to hear what you want to talk about. Ask him, did he kill the chief's daughter? What? He says in a surprised voice. Of course I didn't. Needed Theo 80 relationship. Well, fuck off then. Guess it goes down then. Whatever. Sure, let's train. What are we gonna do? Let's lift weights, let's jog, let's spar with weapons. Fuck it, let's jog. +10 endurance and +3 with him. How much did I lose with him? I lost 5, right? Yeah, so I could have been up to 69 with him. Then go jogging with meditate with Jess in the afternoons, go jogging with Theo in the evenings, talk to my companions. Let's talk to Amos. I'm so proud of you, Amos says. You have grown so much. I have something for you. You're surprised to see the old rogue take his ring out of his pocket and show it to you. It is a signet ring with the design of your royal family on it. Could it be? Is it possible that this is your father's ring? If so, it must have cost Amos a small fortune to acquire it. Amos hands you a small chain so you can wear it around your neck, for now. Perhaps once your identity is known, you'll be able to wear it on your finger, like it was meant to be. You feel more confident and prouder than ever, making you wonder if the ring is enchanted as well. Amos beams with pride as you wear it. Amos relationship +10, gained family heirloom, archery +3, devices +3, magic +3, blades +3, stealth +3, unarmed +3, arcana +3, geographies +3, history +3, nature +3, religion +3, agility +3, charm +3, endurance +3, perception +3, strength +3, and willpower +3. Yes. Ask me if you can train me some more. Your days are too busy, Amos says. Oh, okay. Well, I guess we'll tell him about a life as an adventurer. You've had a remarkable summer, Ben. I'm proud of you, Amos says after hearing your tales. Right, we'll start talking to Amos. And then I guess we just have to talk to Carla. Carla wishes to hear what you want to talk about. It's good to be back in Elmville again, so you still working on the Infinity Arrow idea? Ask, what did you agree? Why? Okay. It's good to be back in Elmville again. It's good to have you back, Carla says. I have to admit, I still haven't gotten my head wrapped around the fact that you're Prince Ben, Carla relationship +3, so you're still working on that Infinity Arrow. It really will work, Carla says. It would take a lot of time, though, to gather all the pieces I'd need. The right wood for the shaft, the correct feathers, and something special for the head. But yes, I think it's possible to make the perfect arrow. If I ever had the time to just wander about from town to town, I bet I could gather what I needed to make it. Why'd you come with me to, Why did you agree to guide us to Vernex? You're my best friend, Carla says with a smile. Sure, as a prince, your troubles are bigger than I had expected, but I'm still your friend, and your problems are my problems. Say let's try and train together. She can't, because my days are too busy, apparently. Stop talking to my companions. So real quick, to stop talking to them. So we are currently at Amos 92, Theo 64, Petra 93, Carla 90, and Jess 60, because I fucking pissed her off at first. That's funny. Special training is Wizards level 1. And then everything increased a little bit, but I increased my willpower. My endurance is up there. My magic is up there, 70. And then I increased my religion, so that's up to 43 now. Talk to your companions, get a job or hobby. You do many things during your time in Elmville. You study scripture with Petra in the mornings, afternoons, and evenings. So I'm guessing that I don't have a thing for what else? Actually, let's see if we can do some training with Carla. When we do that, your days are too busy. Yep, okay. Stop talking to companions. Visit Joe the peddler. Joel is short of stature and has all wares in small covered wagon. He's been across the four duchies and back many times doing business. His sisters live in Elmvale. His sister lives in Elmvale and is pregnant, so he's staying the winter to help her out and intends to resume traveling afterwards. He is a man. He has many great things in his wagons general stores do not. Joe opens his wagon and allows you to look through his merchandise. Ask him how his sister is. Come back at night and try to steal his cart. Look at his merchandise. Let's look at his merchandise. Junk in his cart, but among the garbage you see a small few things might be good use. There's a shield, a book of maps, a history book about numerology, tea leaf reading, and other dubious mystical phenomenon. Examine a book with the Academy logo on it. Let's examine the book. The book is easy to miss, having been squeezed between a few others. To your delight, you see that it is a primer from the Academy. These books are illegal to sell and aren't supposed to leave the Academy itself. Steal the book, buy the book, and say nothing. Tell Joel the book should be returned to the Academy. Fuck it, we're gonna buy it. You pay the gold for the book and it's true treasure. Read the book knowing that you shouldn't. Don't read the book intending to return it to the Academy someday. Gonna read it? Duh. Right? Yeah, I'm gonna read it. It's a true treasure. You can't wait to spend... Oh, I got evil from it? Fuck that. You can't wait to spend your time reading it. Every budding wizard's dream is to someday go to the Academy and learn from the masters. With this book, you can get a good head start. Okay, so I got +5 magic, +2 evil. I'm guessing I only got the evil because I'm not technically legally supposed to read it. But I mean, I don't understand how that's legal. I mean, that's like the argument from the D&D aspect of being a good versus a like law-abiding thing. Like they've got it's a different set. You've got good, law-abiding, and something else. It's a like chaotic or evil, good, chaotic, lawful, right? Evil, good, chaotic, lawful. Yeah, and then it's got all the... Yep. So that was just... Not that that was evil of me. It just wasn't lawful, okay? A book about numerology, tea leaf reading, and another dubious mystical phenomenon. That's... A dubious mystical phenomenon. Probably messed up. Book of maps. Examine the shield. The shield is made of metal and is covered in runes. It glows a soft blue light and vibrates lightly when you put a hand on it. It's magical, Joel says. Blah, blah, blah. What? What? 700 gold? Yeah, we're going to look at what else he has. I don't want to look at dubious mystical phenomenon. However, it would definitely help with my magic. I don't want it to, like, mess me up at all, though. And I definitely don't want it to decrease my religion. So, we're going to stop looking at what he has to sell. And we're going to leave his cart. Can we get a job or hobby? You do many things. As you try to schedule some more things to do, you realize you have no more time left in the day. Alright, cool. I'm guessing that that's me saying that I've done enough here so far, so... Yeah, I think next time we're going to go ahead and leave Elmvale for Vernex and continue farther on killing this dude and everything. Actually, I'm kind of happy my stats are coming along. Magic is at 75. Hopefully I'm not too far into the game, but I mean, their relationships is like up there. And then, young timid riding horse named Lucky. 135 gold, spellbook, sword, holy symbol to the goddess Oriel. Dagger at my sleeve, a bow on my back, a lute on my back. I've got a black rune bag with the 4 glowing stones and 1 unglowing. I've got a lockpick set, a rope, water skin, flint steel, sleeping roll, thief harness for hands-free climbing, and a textbook from the Academy of Wizards. And I've got Wizards level 1. Alright, cool. So maybe if I would have gotten a hobby, I could have trained in more magic or something like that. But whatever. I'm not too concerned about devices, blades, and unarmed. I would kind of like stealth to be a little bit higher, but I mean, if it's at 6%, it's just going to keep failing over and over again. So unless it's training in that, but I'd just rather train my magic anyway. So, yeah. And then hopefully if my religion can get up a little bit higher, I might be able to do some good healing at some point, like maybe save somebody's life. And then just being nice to everybody is a good idea. And Theo fucking got pissed if I asked him about the thing. It's like, goddamn, I'm asking about it. Yep, I mean, the way that it was worded was really bad. Like, did you kill her? It's like, no. It's like, I would like to hear more about your chieftain's daughter, sort of thing. And then, I mean, then it's his fault if he gets offended for it. But I mean, we walking up and going, so did you do it? Wink. That's not gonna work. That's stupid. Anyway, next time we're gonna go ahead and leave for Elmvale, or leave for Vernex from Elmvale. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do.